Okay, so I just want to go over this real quick because I got off and I realized that I forgot to do my analysis for uh tomorrow, Thursday's price action. Even though I took my screenshot, so I just want to bang this out real quick and go over it. So, anyways, so on all the assets, um, just like I always do, mark out previous day high, low, and EQ. I did that across all assets. Now, normally when we have a candle like this, right, where there's not much wick, it's easy to mark EQ as such. Um, but in this case, because we had a lot of manipulation and rebalancing on both sides today, right? Normally I would not use this. I would just use the body. But because there is no body, I'm choosing to use on ES, at least on the daily, previous day EQ here. Now, because on NQ, we do have a substantial body that it appears this current overnight session is using as it. I did go ahead and mark out body only previous day EQ as well as both with the wicks just to see how price is responding to that because earlier today it was sensitive around this area. Same thing with YM, right? Keeping it simple, right? Because we only have this range, previous AEQ. How is price going to respond there? Something I did notice is, we did have this OB change in state of delivery, right? And then also, what I want to pay attention to is if we take EQ of this OB, we can see here that previous day low is resting right at EQ. So this OB is being supported. Furthermore, currently, we do have manipulation that if price moves higher, this would be correct soup. So I do want to take acknowledgement of this because even though I am anticipating lower prices in a rebalance, and I'll get into why, um, this tells me unless they are, going opposite directions, um, you know, that this is a level that we need to pay attention to or that I want to pay attention to. Okay, so that's on the daily. And the reality is right, we're still moving inside this BISI. Obviously, we closed outside, so now price is rebalancing here. Now, another thing I am taking a note of here is we are using, right, this previous key level of equal highs as support currently for price for expansion. Now, what that tells me, or at least what that leads me to believe first, actually, let me get into why I have these levels down here. Because we are currently in a premium of not only this previous range, but also we are moving through the overall range, right? Why do I think we need to rebalance? Because like what, G talks about, right? Turtle soup to soup. So this is our previous point of manipulation, sorry. Right? And so for me, right, I'm going to take this here and I'm going to draw it here. Now, why? Well, number one is at EQ of, this previous range, we have a PD array, right? And not only that, but the reason I'm choosing this is because if I'm anticipating a reversal, then technically this would be, as overnight session runs and into the morning, we could open high here, which would create the soup. So then this would be the previous range. Um, Sorry about that. And so therefore this would be the level, right? Because this would be the correct range. So that's why I've not only marked EQ, and I'll show you, I did the same thing, right? Um, with ES, and you can see here with ES, right? Where to go? Yeah, right here. With ES, it would be here, right? Same thing, right? And so then if we drop down like to the 4 hour, when I'm looking for key levels, right? Um, this is why I drew those levels out, right? Sorry. You can see here that at previous day low, right? We have a key level resting right at that key level, right? And same thing on NQ at that rebalance point, right? Daily rebalance point. I gotta fix this one. Um, there we go. Anyways, right? The reason why at previous day low, right, is resting. We're at our key level at EQ, and what's at EQ is we have an unmanipulated low, right? And so the reason that I'm drawing attention to that is because if we are to expand, right, we need to rebalance first. And so even though we've rebalanced this candle, right, this candle rebalance open low, right? But then this candle, right, was actually souped, here. So now we need to rebalance where back down, and we got the change in state of delivery. So that means tomorrow, right, can just technically, right, open high or at least respect this 4-hour OB, right? Because we're in an open low. But if this could change, this could be consolidation, right? And we could first expand to take out previous day high and create SMT before move lower. But the reason why I have these targets here is because this is the point of rebalance. So even I now know, right, if we're going external to internal, right, then this is my draw, or vice versa if we're going internal to external. So these are key levels that I'm trying to pay attention to for tomorrow. And on the 15-minute, right, it looks really good to me, right? We got these two lows, right? Unmanipulated. Same thing here, right? If we look this low resting right above EQ with another unmanipulated low. So, in my opinion, we'll see how the morning plays out, but this is my analysis for Thursday.